You've got some music or something happening in the background there, haven't you?
Oh, it's a little bit of a speaker hum because we're at the rehearsal rooms in Sydney practicing for tomorrow night's show and the gig in Newcastle. So, yeah, it's all happening.
It's all happening, yeah, because you had your launch in Brisbane back in April for the new EP.
Yes, that's right. And it was really good too. We had a great night and, yeah, really got into it.
Oh, that's good. Obviously, you were the lead singer of the Butterfly Effect for 13 years and then you left, and this band, The Given Things, is that like a collaborative effort? Did you help start this band or did you come into it?
Yeah, well, it was put together basically at the time when we were on the last tour. So Glenn is the bass player from the Butters as well, and we were in Mackay actually, and I heard some of the demo material that they're doing, and I said, man, that sounds pretty cool. It's different for me, and it's definitely a different sound from the Butters, which is what I wanted to do, is a departure from that sound. And yeah, so he had a band already formed around him, which was a Family of Strangers, which is Glenn's solo band. Yeah, so I just sort of tagged on and said, let's start a brand new rockin' band. And yeah, I remember when we come up with the name, actually, The Given Things, were at Greenbank RSL, just out of Brisbane. And we were standing outside in the freezing cold last year, and Steve, the drummer, came up and he said, man, what about The Given Things, And we said, yeah, dude, that's great. Let's go with it.
Right, yeah. Well,
so that's how we got the name as well.
I can guarantee in Brisbane it was not as cold as it is here today.
I can totally relate. I've been in Ballarat when it's been winter, and I've got to say, a very hardy lot, you guys, for sure. I froze my abs proverbials off, and I saw people walking around in T-shirts, and I thought, geez, they are some tough mofos, that's for sure.
I picked the locals because they're the ones not wearing 3 or 4 layers of clothes.
That's right, yeah, and you stand out like a sore thumb in a crowd, that's for sure.
Yeah, but oh well, you got to do what you got to do.
That's true, and I believe in keeping warm is one of the best, especially being a singer.
Yeah.
It's my job to make sure I stay warm, stay out of the cold, not drink too much, not party too much, and all of that business. So I think I got the tougher job in the band. Especially
over the next week or two, because you've got a few shows coming up to launch your EP across Australia.
Yeah, we're quite fortunate actually to have the next 2 weekends with some great gigs coming up. We've got Sydney tomorrow night, and then Newcastle, and then the next weekend after that we've got Thursday in Adelaide, we've got the Friday in Melbourne, and the Saturday in San Remo, which is sort of like a holiday for us, and then back to sunny Melbourne on Sunday, and then we fly home. So it's quite a tight tour. It's quite quick, and we spread it out over the 2 weekends. But we're going to do some writing in between and do some extra rehearsal stuff. So we're making full use of our time on the road. All right.
I can't see your Sunday night gig in Melbourne. Are you doing a gig in Melbourne on Sunday night?
Yes, I'm doing. Yeah, that's not part of Given Things though. That's solo. So I'm doing that. In acoustic mode, intimate acoustic mode. I think they like to call it.
Yeah, I have seen that advertised actually.
Yeah, that'll be good. Playing in the Ding Dong Lounge, actually, and I haven't been there for ages, so that'll be a nice way to cap off the weekend, especially after the raucous, loud Given Things.
So with that solo being acoustic and that, what sort of songs are you doing? Are you going to be doing songs from the Butterfly Effect and the Given Things and...
Well, I just do my solo stuff, which is all of the stuff I've been writing in and around all of the bands. I don't really play much of the Butters stuff. I do one song from the Butters repertoire. I try and sort of steer away from that. I've done it, played it, and now I'm moving on and starting to play my own stuff. And in an acoustic mode, I just do all the stuff that I've written at home that fits that sort of style.
So there's a lot of music that people won't have heard before.
Exactly, yeah, that's right. So it's always nice to come and expand your musical brain.
Yeah. And with the EP, did you write the lyrics for that?
Yeah, wrote all the lyrics. Yep, helped out with some of the arrangements, helped out with, some of the chord structures and stuff like that. It really is a collaborative effort. Like, everyone throws in their 2 cents. Some stuff sticks, some stuff doesn't. It's just one of those things. But we're quite fortunate to have 5 really strong songwriters in the band, which is great because whenever you get stuck, you can always lean on the guy standing next to you. So that's great. And I haven't had that, that wasn't the case in Butters. It was always just everyone wrote their parts and never the twain shall meet.
Yeah, and the EP is self-titled, The Given Things.
Yeah.
And it is available on your Bandcamp, which is thegiventhings.bandcamp.com.
Yeah,
but
and,
the single
it's going pretty well too. We've had a really good, a lot of interest in the band. There's a lot of physical copies going out, which is great to see. People still buying physical CDs and not just downloading it off the off the web.
Yeah.
Which is nice. So that's really good. We really wanted to build that grassroots support from people. So we're quite happy about that. And I think, and it always shows when you go and play it live and you get a good response. And, we don't care whether we've got 20 people or 20,000 in front of us. We like to rock out and have a good time. And that's what people can expect from the live shows, just four to the floor, rock and roll, good old school pub rock and roll, which is fantastic. So we're really excited to get out there and play it live.
And if people go to your Bandcamp and order the physical copy, they actually get it signed too.
Yeah, we like to, have a bit of a personal touch when we're doing, like physical stuff, especially like shirts, CDs. It's easier to sign a CD card. We don't sign any of the shirts, but, it's just personalised notes, just a thank you here and there, always, going that extra mile for the people that order our stuff.
That's great. And Red Sky is the current single?
Yeah, Red Sky. It's pumping along quite nicely. We've had Limits of Low actually got played the other night on the J, so that was good. We've got a spin there. We've had some great community radio support, as like you guys, and that's wonderful because I think grassroots is where it's at, to build a good fan base, solid fan base, so they're going to follow you wherever you go. And I think for this band, rock and roll is now becoming quite underground in terms of what commercial radio is playing. So it's good that we're building slowly and we're making inroads into some of these places outside of Brisbane, which is great.
Well, hopefully you can help break down the doors of Triple J for some of the other rock bands too.
That would be great. Yeah, we'd really like to do that. Yeah, especially for all the budding young rock bands out there.
Yeah. Was there a band for you actually before the Butterfly Effect?
Yeah, there was. It was called 7 Dark 7, and it was like a pop, I don't know, indie pop band, I guess you'd call it. It was something like, had electronics like U2 and had sort of like jangly guitar lines over the top, but that didn't really go anywhere. So, yeah, that was ages ago, yeah. That was a long time ago.
So what made you decide to get into music in that? Did you come from a family that had a history in it?
Yeah, my dad actually, he was a bass player in a country music band of all things. So, that was my ticket in. Sort of Dad encouraged me to sing and all of that stuff. So I was like, yeah, great, I'll give it a whirl. I was only 5, so I was, very keen to impress my parents, and it was a good way to spend time with my dad. Yeah, that's how I started.
Well, I'm very happy that you didn't end up doing the country music thing.
It's funny, because someone actually said to me, would you be prepared to go back to it? I said, yeah, for sure. I think when the timing's right, it's right, and I always think that when the universe is pushing you in one direction, sorry, I don't want to say that name, I can't stand those guys, when the universe is pushing you in a direction, you should always listen and go forth with great vigour.
Do you have any special moments in your career of music that you treasure, like a special thing that...
Yeah, I think playing Big Day Out for the first time in 2002 was amazing. The first tour to the States, first tour to Europe was just milestones that, everyone sort of dreams about, going on the road and having your band tour in foreign countries and having people actually who have heard of your band and coming out and see it. The first gold album, when Begins Here and Imago went gold in within weeks of each other, I think that was pretty huge. So there's still a few mountains to climb. We never actually got a number 1 national album, but we came close. We got a number 2, and that was behind Eskimo Joe. And we only missed out by 134 albums. But
damn.
That particular week we actually sold more. It's just because I think it was Leading Edge Music had dropped out of the ARIA chart. So that album sales didn't count.
And as you said, the Given Things started as just a bit of fun, but things are starting to just happen like that again for you.
Yeah, well, it seems that way, and hopefully we can build it. And like anything, I believe your rise, I should say your fall is directly, related to your rise. So we like a long, slow burn, which is preferable to a sort of flash in the pan, overnight, having a big song on radio and then disappearing almost the next month. So we're really happy with where it's at and where it's going. And plus, we've got to evolve as a band and people and writers. You know, like every time you start a new band, it's almost, well, you are starting again, you know, essentially. Especially in this particular genre of music. I mean, you know, if we had been around in the maybe, I don't know, the late 70s, we would have been paired up with Akadaka, I think. That would have been pretty exciting. But yeah, these days it's a lot different. Everything's changed, you know, the music industry, the way people get their music, the way that they digest it, you know, the whole thing. So we're just happy to be around and getting some gigs.
Well, and at the moment, the rock alternative music isn't as well accepted by like Triple J and commercial radio, so hopefully you can help break down some doors there.
Yes, that would be good. If we can go forth and conquer in the name of all things rock and roll, we shall do.
It's great to have someone like of your calibre, because you do personally have a strong following because you have such a brilliant voice and people know you so well. So
yeah, it's nice to have built that over the years, that's for sure. It's a nice little, it's a comforting cushion in the bed of rock and roll.
Yeah. So can we expect an album from The Given Things in the near future?
Yes, most definitely. Yeah, we're working on the second EP. We've already got it pretty muchly done. We've just got to go in and do some guitars and some vocal stuff. And then we're working on the album to follow up that. So we're going to record the rest of that by the end of this year. That's the second EP. And then we will release it early next year. Well, we're thinking that's the case, the timeline at the moment. And then we will work on the album proper, probably the middle of next year, I would say, when everyone's got some time. And then hopefully release it by the end of 2014. So the calendar's already getting quite full.
Is it like just basically because people don't have the time to get together to record the album that you decided to do another EP first?
No, I think definitely testing the water and just making sure, you know, that we've got a market to go to with an album. And I think these days doing an album can be, you know, not as useful as doing a couple of EPs, using, you know, breaking up your best material and putting it on two EPs. It's a lot cheaper, and it works out that you get more, you know, more mileage, more bang for your buck, so to speak. So you can tour every time you release an EP. You know, an album's only got a certain shelf life. You can only really get out there a couple of times. You know, some people would argue, and that's all good, but to my experience, especially with Thousand Needles in Red, I mean, we toured 4 times in 1 year off the back of the album, and we saw our numbers declining steadily every time we went around, which is not the way you want to see it go. So I think EP not saturating too much, just doing an EP here, an EP there, a couple of tours back, consolidate your funds, hopefully make enough money to help yourself out a bit, and then go out and do an album. But I mean, that's just the way we've chosen to do it. I mean, there's a million ways you could go about it. You could do an album if you chose, but for us it's time, money, and the songs.
Yeah, and people can actually find you at thegiventthings.com.
Yeah.
Or on Facebook at facebook.com/thegiventthings.
Yep.
And you are touring nationally starting tomorrow night, Friday night in Sydney at the Bald-Faced Stag.
Yeah, looking forward to that one.
Yeah, and then Newcastle at the Cambridge Hotel on the 6th of July.
Yep, on Saturday night.
Yep, and then on the 11th, which you said is the Thursday night in Adelaide at the Enigma Bar.
Yep.
Friday the 12th at the Cape Lounge in Melbourne, in Fitzroy in Melbourne.
And then we go out to San Remo the next night after that, after the Cape Lounge in Melbourne, which will be fun. It's more like a holiday than anything out there. It's a lovely area.
That's a wine area, isn't it?
Isn't it? Yes, it is, yes. It's very nice.
And then on the Sunday night, you've got your acoustic at the Ding Dong Lounge, your solo.
Yeah, look, if you've had, you know, an ear assault by the Given Things and you feel like just chilling out, come and hang out with me on the Sunday night, which will be nice and mellow.
Yeah, people in Melbourne can go and see you on the Friday night in Fitzroy. They can even follow you up to San Remo and then come back and chill out with you on Sunday night.
That would be lovely. I would love that a lot.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Thank you very much. You have been brilliant.
No worries, Kat. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
I appreciate your time. And, yeah, I look forward to catching the Given Things live on the Red Sky Tour.
Yeah, great. Thanks so much.
Have a good day.
No worries. See ya.
Bye.